Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Monday. It is the 24th day of January 2022. I hope you're healthy and COVID-free today. I hope that your family is also healthy and COVID-free, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, and health are being met. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, trying every day with the first responders to save lives. Double blessings also on the two officers, one that was killed, Officer Rivera, young 22-year-old officer, and his partner, who was in critical condition, that was shot in the Bronx. I believe it was the Bronx this past weekend. Blessings upon them and their families. Also, blessings upon those that pick up garbage for us, keep our streets and sidewalks clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on those trying to help deliver and rescue boys and girls, men and women and children who are the victims of sex slave operations, human trafficking, prostitution, child pornography, child molestation, pedophilia. Blessings upon the victims and curses, double curses on the perpetrators and profiteers of this disgusting industry. Finally, blessings on the homeless. 600,000 men, women, and children without roofs over their head right now in January, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom and on those who are willing to help them. There was a basketball game yesterday. Our New York Knicks defeated the Los Angeles Clippers 110-102. I guess I've seen some headlines in the media about R.J. Barrett becoming the number one option. We've been on this case a couple of weeks now, and it's pretty evident. I told y'all, R.J. got the keys, and he ain't giving them back. And nor should he. It's a different thing when a 21-year-old player who's developing into the man, and you're seeing that. And oftentimes, unfortunately for Knicks Nation, they, like I said, we microanalyze guys that are on Madison Square Garden floor for us, 41 games a year. And we don't look back and look at the big picture, and we start criticizing unnecessarily a guy like RJ. He's a superstar in the making. He's going to be an all-star. He's going to be the man. There's no question about it. And you're seeing it. It's just that when you're watching the development and you see the ugly parts, like you have a 6 or 7 turnover game, you start criticizing and thinking that he doesn't play well. Some of y'all just go over the cliff. But you got to look at it on a macro level. This kid is special. I knew that when he came in the league. Actually, I did not. It was after his first 2 months of the season that I picked it up. I didn't think he was going to be able to get his shot off. I didn't think he would be able to do the bully ball. I didn't think he would be able to go to his left. I didn't think any of that stuff when he was coming out of Duke. I thought more of Cam Reddish than I did of RJ Barrett, quite honestly. And we'll talk more about him in a second. But after about the first month of the season of his rookie year, I realized my mistake. And I said, no. He was bully balling everybody. He still didn't have a jump shot yet, but I wasn't worried about that. I knew that was going to come. The strength is his strength, and his basketball IQ. He has all the tools to be a great defender as well. And he's now taking on that challenge. And he's still only 21 years old. And yesterday, it's different with a guy like that than with a guy that's an 8-year veteran, like a Julius Randle, playing out of position. When I say playing out of position, not that he's not a power forward. He is. He's not the number one option. That's what I mean. He's out of position as a number one option. He's not the number one option. He's a really good third option. Really. He's playing, but we're seeing right now, RJ taking the reins and being the number one option. And how you see that, for example, yesterday, normally, like say all last year and beginning of this year until now, until like the last month, you would see the Knicks when they set up in the half court, Julius Randle's the first guy to get the ball passed to him. No matter, like if he's not bringing it up, whoever gets the bringing the ball up, whether it's IQ or Burks or whoever, they're passing him the ball. And that's when the offense is initiated. They're passing the ball. And last year was mostly in the pinch post. And then he was doing work out of that. But now you're seeing just as much, or if not more, when the ball comes up in the half court, is given to RJ on the wing. Okay. And generally, most of the time, really good things happen because his basketball IQ is much higher than Julius Randle, even at age 21. Okay. They give Randle respect because he's a veteran, highest paid player on the team, supposedly the best player on the team, right? But it's becoming evident. And like I said, we seen it a couple of weeks ago. RJ is now the man on that team. And he's only 21. Okay. He's going to get better. He's going to get better. All right. So yesterday you saw him take the reins. He doesn't force it. That's part of his basketball IQ. He doesn't come out the gate forcing stuff usually. If it's there, he'll take it because of his IQ. If they give it to him, he's going to take it. If not, he's going to lay off for a second. Yesterday, Julius got off first, and RJ was just chilling. Then all of a sudden, slowly during the course of the game, RJ took over. Okay. The sign of a great player, one of the signs, is that they work really hard on their craft. Okay. Everybody that comes in the NBA has talent to play basketball. Everybody. Okay. You don't make it in the NBA at all if you don't have any talent to play basketball. So they can all play basketball. But the great ones take that talent to a new level in their work ethic. So that I asked the question yesterday, is Tom Thibodeau the right coach for Obi Toppin? And the answer was overwhelmingly, no, he's not. He is the right coach for RJ Barrett, though. Okay? See, some of y'all took that as a sign that we should just all dump on Tibbs. No, he's the right coach for RJ Barrett. Okay? He's going to really appreciate the work RJ puts in. He's going to reward him. He's going to stand behind him, and RJ is going to just get better. All right. So while it hurts some of our players, it helps others. All right. So that's RJ. Okay. So yesterday he took over, and not only another sign is that they have more than one way to beat you. Okay. Not only did he get 28 yesterday, he had 6 assists and 14 rebounds. He only had 1 turnover in 43 minutes. What we're seeing is the maturation of RJ. And I even loved the technical he got. I loved it because, first of all, man was riding him. It wasn't like he just got fouled and missed a close call. Man was riding him with his elbow in his ribs the whole drive to the basket. Then he gets there and Zubac hammers him. Okay. And I like that he purposely fouled Zubac to stop the play, to walk over to that ref and tell him, give me an effing call. You know what I'm saying? I like that. This is the guy we drafted as an 18-year-old kid becoming a man in front of us. Some of y'all don't recognize. And you know what? It's all good because he's 21, man. When he's 24, And what I like about him is that he's not tremendously athletic, but his body is strong. I mean, that's like I said, the strength of him is, one of the strengths of him is his strength in and of itself. He's a strong boy, So hopefully and obviously he's in the top of the league in minutes in his first 3 seasons. Okay. Strong kid and misses very few games, So we got something here. Okay. Now, with regard to Julius, is playing the second option. And when Julius and RJ both scored 20, the Knicks are pretty good. In fact, I think they're really good. I don't know what the record is, but I know it's really good when they both score 20. Okay. So, that is a good sign going forward, especially if Julius does not force things. Usually he doesn't. When the Knicks are playing good. Yesterday he did a little bit. That's why he had the 7 turnovers. Trying to dribble in traffic and stuff. But the ball is RJ's now. And it needs to be his. Okay? So that was really a big deal yesterday to me. Now, there are some players, at least for me, let me just put it this way. I don't know if it's for everybody. But there are some players that just by running down the court, there's an it factor. they just have it. You can see the talent almost oozing off of them. Okay? And there's been a number of players come through the NBA like that. Some develop that talent and become superstars like a Kobe Bryant. And some, never actually reach that level that they should have, like a J.R. Ryder. Okay? But just them running up the court with the ball. It sounds simple, but you can see the talent there. And it's tantalizing. That's Cam Reddish. Just 5 minutes, I think he played yesterday. Just 5 minutes, I think he played yesterday. He played 5 minutes. But it's very evident, the talent. I mean, I actually, like I said, I thought between RJ, Zion, and Reddish at Duke, Reddish would be the best pro. Because I saw the same thing there. And I thought he would have a difficult time in Atlanta because of the number of wings that they had. I didn't understand why Atlanta was stockpiling wings like that, except to make a trade later. But this kid has it. Okay. Now, first half yesterday, Mobb Deep was topping Reddish, quickly, Grimes, right? And they had Nerlens and they had Mitchell Robinson running in that before Mitch hurt his ankle yesterday. They had them two. And y'all know that was like yesterday, that group scored 26 points. They scored 26 yesterday. And they were plus 13. And it just fits so perfectly, them five together. So I was kind of a little surprised. I tweeted that actually Thibodeau went, he went 10 deep in the first half. He went 10 deep. But then he shifted and he ended up the game really going 8 deep. When I say 8 or 10 or whatever I'm saying deep, I'm looking for players that get at least 10 minutes in the game. If you don't get at least 10 minutes, to me, you didn't play. Okay? That's why. So yesterday, Toppin gets 8, Reddish gets 5, Gibson gets 6. To me, that wasn't the rotation. The rotation was Noel gets 26, Quickly gets 18, Grimes gets 20. That was really the rotation yesterday. So it ended up being an 8-man rotation. But in the first half, it was a 10-man rotation because you had 5 minutes for Reddish, 8 minutes for Obi, 6 minutes for Gibson. That was half of what they would have had if they came in the second half again. And then the second half, of course, like I said, he went to an 8-man rotation. Listen, about Thibodeau. See, I try to be objective, and I think I'm successful most of the time because a lot of y'all are not. But Tibbs, he has his positives and his negatives. So you had the promise of a serious Mobb Deep situation, and then he turns around the second half and runs the starters into the ground with 3 other guys. Okay, especially when Mitchell Robinson went down, and at first I thought to myself it was because Mitch went down. I was thinking to myself maybe the matchups changed, because Mitch went down and he had to use Taj, and then Taj probably hurt himself. He had a terrific fall yesterday. He got up and played, but you got to figure that back got to hurt. And then he plays Noel heavy minutes, and Nerlens, he's bound to get hurt. He's skinny, so he played him 26 minutes. So that's what to me stopped him from utilizing Mobb Deep the way he should. Somebody might say, well, what about Jericho Sims? Well, he's a rookie. Do I need to say anymore? Speaking of Tom Thibodeau and rookies, I figured him out on this here. Okay. With Tibbs, he puts the rookies through hell. When you're with Tibbs as a rookie, you're in hell. He's ignoring you. He's telling you to work hard and be ready. And when he throws you out, he expects you to be an all-star. And then if you make a mistake, he's going to go off on you. Okay, we've seen it. If you're a rookie or a second-year player, even. Okay, especially if he wasn't involved in picking you, like Obi. Okay, but if he was involved with picking you, you're still gonna go through hell, like Deuce and Grimes. And if you survive a season with him like that, you have a chance on getting in the rotation second season. And if you survive the second season, now you with it. That's how he rolls. I don't like it, but I look back over his minutes, over the times when he was a person that had not only was a coach, but had a hand. Because, like, for example, he didn't have a hand in drafting Obi Toppin, though he was a coach, right? So I don't count Obi. And then when he was with Chicago or Minnesota, like when he came to Chicago, Derrick Rose was there. So he didn't have a hand in drafting Derrick Rose. But he did have a hand in players after that. And like there was Tony Snell, there was Jimmy Butler, there was Nikola Mirotic, there was Omar Asic, who else? Oh God, I can't remember all of them, but that's a lot of them. Then he went to Minnesota, Josh Okogie. He had a hand in drafting. He did not have a hand in drafting LaVine. Okay, Zach LaVine. So, and somebody said this, and it sounds silly, but it might be true. He might have a problem understanding how to coach players that are uber athletic. Like he traded Zach LaVine for Jimmy Butler. Now, and I'm saying I can understand that, but he did. He traded Zach LaVine for Jimmy Butler. Okay. He doesn't understand Obi, and Obi's, an athletic dude. And when you look at his history, it seems like he's always had, he's never really had an athletic guy. And it's not, I don't think it's because he couldn't. Maybe he didn't want him. I don't know. And if you notice his lineup, Robinson is athletic, and he's pretty much the most athletic guy he has, in the starting five. And it's not because of Mitch's athleticism. It's because of his length and his rim protection that he likes him. Okay. Same with Nerlens Noel. So maybe he has a problem with athletic players. I don't know, but he is what he is. Now, I will support Thibodeau for a number of reasons. Number one, like I said, I'm tired of the coaching carousel. I want us to stick with one guy at least 3 years. I'd like to see him stay 4 years. It'd be nice for him to stay 4 years. I think we'll have good results if we let him stay 4 years. Number one. Number two, he's from Connecticut, but he's a New York guy. All right. He's from Connecticut, New Britain, but he's a New York dude. He's been here from the early 90s with New York. And he also was an assistant in Minnesota. I think he was also, but he's been here for a number of years in New York, and he knows how to handle the media. He knows how to handle the crowd. He's hard. You know what I'm saying? And it's just me, but I like that. I like him to be hard, man. Be hard like that. We may not like all his moves, but he's hard. Not only that, let me just be honest with y'all, Knick Nation. Knick Nation gonna hate every coach we get until we find the coach that wins the championship. Then that coach will be a legend. And it could be anybody. It could be Tibbs. It could be anybody. Okay. And all of y'all will hate the coach we have. Okay. Now, if he gets into the first round and then wins and then gets to the second round, y'all are going to a lot of y'all are going to be converts. But if he ever gets us to the ECF, he's a legend. Okay. That's how it is. And it doesn't matter who it is. If Greg Popovich was coaching the Knicks and they were playing like they're playing now, y'all be calling for him to be fired. One of the greatest coaches in NBA history. Okay. So I don't pay too much attention to some of you, especially your youngins who ain't been around a minute and ain't seen really bad coaching and really good coaching. Okay. Over a long period of time. But Tibbs is way better than most. Okay. I would have rather had Kenny Atkinson, but I ain't gonna whine. I didn't whine when they hired Tom Thibodeau. All right. So you got pluses and minuses. So our rookies. So put it this way. Mitchell Robinson's 23 in his fourth season. R.J. Barrett is 21 in his third season. Manuel Quickley is 22 in his second season. All of these guys are getting regular minutes under Thibodeau, right? So you got Mitchell, you got R.J., you got Quickley getting regular minutes. They're in the rotation. They were in the rotation last year. They're in the rotation this year. All right. So you got that as a core group. Now, who's going to survive the hell that he puts his young players through? I am going to bet my money on Deuce. I know Deuce is tough as nails, man. And he came out of the college equivalent of Tom Thibodeau. Okay, oh God, what's that guy's name from Daggone West Virginia? He used to coach Cincinnati. Huggins. Huggins is the college equivalent of Tom Thibodeau. Okay, so I think Deuce is going to be fine. Not only that, as another side note, I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, because I think it came from Berman and I don't know, but it didn't come from one of the three sources that I trust. But let's assume it might be true that the Knicks are sending a contingent over to check out Rokas Jokubaitis. Now listen here. Why would you think they're doing that? They did that last year. That's why they drafted him. They drafted him before they drafted Deuce. I don't think Tom had anything to do with that. They drafted Jokubaitis before they drafted Deuce last year. Okay? So they obviously, saw something. And then we saw something when he played in the summer league. The boy is good. He could play. Okay? Not like Luka Vildoza y'all was tripping about. And I knew he wasn't going to make the NBA. But this kid is an NBA player. So he's only 20 though. He's going to be 21 next summer. So this is my take on it. I'm going to tell you what they're doing. They figure, and then I saw somebody quote today, and this is the amazing thing to me. Some of these guys get inside information and still don't know how to analyze the basketball game. But anyway, I take some of the inside information they get. And in this particular, I think it was Beer. I think his name was Beer. One of those cats said that the Knicks executives are very happy and pleased with Deuce, and they're very impressed with Deuce and Jokubaitis. Now, let me tell you what they're doing. If they feel like they have a future backcourt rotation in Emmanuel Quickley, Jokubaitis, and Deuce, they're not going to sign Brunson. That's what we're dealing with here. They're figuring, okay, when is Jokubaitis going to be ready? We got IQ. He's our bench. He's a bench scorer. And then we got Deuce. He's a point guard. So, do we have a guy in Jokubaitis that maybe in 2 seasons, he's ready to step into the rotation? Because Deuce is ready now. He's just not getting a chance. So I think between now and next year, he's going to get a bigger opportunity. See, when it says Knicks executives, that's above Thibodeau. Okay? Those are the bosses. All right? So he can play with this. He can put Deuce through hell this year. Maybe next year, but I doubt it. But maybe next year. But by the 3rd season, he's going to play Deuce. Okay? So that's what they're trying to decide right now. Should they go get a Brunson who wants 4 years? Or should they wait and just deal with it piecemeal until these kids are ready? That's what I'm saying right now. Because they're not going to make a second trip overseas to watch him, to see how well he's developing up front for nothing. When they know he was good, they brought him here. And they went and they had him in the summer league. They seen it. So I'm very encouraged by that. I'm very encouraged by that. So let's see how that is. That's with that. Manuel Quickley played a really good floor game yesterday. To me, I haven't seen him play a floor game like that since summer league. I mean, it wasn't his shooting necessarily. He shot okay. 3 of 8 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. Okay. 6 assists. Still, he was managing the offense very well yesterday. Okay. Doesn't change my mind. He's not a point guard, but he, as a point guard yesterday, handled the business well. I still think Deuce McBride's a better basketball player. Okay. I'm overall looking back at it, looking at the long term. Deuce is the man. Okay. But he handled his business good yesterday. And what I like about it is that if we do make a playoff run, I'm very confident a more mature Quick will help us, very much in that second unit. Now, back to Cam for a second. Like I said, just running up and down the court, you can see the kid's he's got it. He got it. Okay. So a move is going to be made. I don't know who is going. We talked about Obi, and the reason I brought up Obi, I am one that likes to prepare myself for the worst case scenario. That's just how I am. And I try to be real with it. And so the only guy that I can see that would hurt me that they move, that I think they could move, is Obi Toppin. I don't want them to move Obi. Don't get it twisted. But I'm trying to prepare myself for the worst case scenario. I ain't gonna trip when I see it because I'm preparing myself for it now. Hopefully they don't do it. But somebody's got to be moved. There's no doubt. Somebody's got to be moved. Okay. So, because they did not get Cam Reddish to package him for, some fools out here talking for another deal. They did not do that. That kid, just him running up and down the court, you could just see it. There was a guy that unfortunately passed away before he got a chance to play in the NBA that was like that. His name was Len Bias. He played for University of Maryland. You just see it. This guy, I think he could have been another Jordan if he'd have lived. Unfortunately he passed away before he got a chance to play. But Reddish has that. There's this thing that's just athleticism, skill level. You could just see it on him. Then coming out of Duke, he's got some sort of IQ about him. Okay. They're going to have to find minutes for this guy. Okay. And keep not lose Grimes minutes. I don't want Grimes to lose minutes either. So we got to do something. And yesterday, the Mobb Deep was so sweet yesterday. I was like, damn, I can't imagine if Tom actually did the right thing and played them in the third quarter as well, like he usually do sometimes, played them second half of the third quarter into the fourth. We got something here. Okay. Yesterday, he didn't do it. I don't know what his I don't know what it was. Okay. But he didn't. But if he does that, we in good shape, man. And then, Fournier is getting to be consistent now. Okay. At first I thought it was just a hot streak, but I think what it is he's now feeling himself and getting into the rhythm, especially when the ball moves and he's feeling comfortable. When the ball doesn't move, you're going to shut him out. And really Julius has the power to turn him on and turn him off, because if he starts acting a fool, Fournier's out also. Okay. But Fournier was in nice rhythm yesterday. Burks was, really solid. Burks is not a superstar. He's a money player. Like I said, fourth quarter money type dude. But during the course of the season, he's not going to seem like much. He's going to be solid sometimes. But, when you want a fourth quarter win, especially in the playoffs, you're going to like Alec Burks. Unfortunately, he may be the guy moved. I don't know. I hate to see that too. I'm trying to be real about this. Mitch Rob tweaked his ankle yesterday. It's a good thing. They had him. He was just like Stephen Curry. And there was a couple of other players like that, that came in the league in the first couple of years, had all kind of ankle issues. Happens to a few players, sometimes worse than others. Like a bad one was Grant Hill. Grant Hill's ankle basically ruined his career. But, there were other players like Kurt Thomas. When Kurt Thomas, who used to be a Knick, he came to Miami, he was drafted. I think he led the nation in rebounding and scoring in his senior year at TCU, but he had ankle problems, like almost to the point where you thought his career wasn't going to make it. But then he became a solid NBA player. I think Mitchell Rob is coming through that now and and they have them thick braces on his ankles, and he's been trying the different sneakers. So yesterday, I think he was, like he said he just tweaked it. He'll be all right. Mitch Rob's been pretty, he's played 42 games out of 46 this year. All right. So he's been pretty durable for us this year. And he took a lot of big hits to his face, slammed to the ground and, ankle. He took Mitch Rob been tough this year. So, I'm very happy with him. They need to pay that man. But Julius Randle was the second option yesterday. And he scores 24, 9 boards, 5 assists, 7 turnovers. And again, it's all mental with him. He was on yesterday and it was good. I would really like to see him become the third option. And I believe we have the players to make that happen. Like, we don't need to add anybody. We just need to let the sprouts we have grow into full-grown plants and trees. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, if you got already RJ, if Cam was to really be let loose in the first unit, then you let RJ control the basketball, which he's already doing. And now you have a Cam Reddish. And I'm not talking about Cam Reddish right now. I'm talking about Cam Reddish next year. Okay. Or even at the end of this year, but next year when he's 23. This kid's, you haven't seen him and RJ, you haven't seen yet. I'm trying to tell y'all, they got several levels to go higher. And I'm very excited. So Cam and RJ, you add a deuce and you got Mitch Rob, They need to lock that boy up because you give him a 4-year deal right now while he's 23. And we got him through his prime, into his prime. The Knicks are going to be rough, y'all. I'm telling you. I'm not looking at right now. I'm talking about a year, 2 years from now. They keep this crew together, they are going to be good. And then you add a Jokovitis to it, they're going to be good, y'all. So I would love to see Randall turn into the third option because he's good as a second option. He's good, but he's still inconsistent. As a third option, though, he'd be dynamite. As a third option, he'd be like you look at Tim Hardaway. Look, Tim Hardaway's had to play first option a lot on New York because KP was always hurt. He's third option in Dallas, and he's killing. Sometimes he gets to play second option because KP gets hurt. But with Luka out there with him, and then now Brunson, he can sometimes be the third option. And man, he is dynamite as a third option. And I think Julius Randle will be the same. Right now, he was signed to be number one. We know he's not number one. RJ's now taking over, so he's number two. That's going to be rough for him for a minute. But if we could get an up-and-coming Cam Reddish, that talent is so evident. I don't know if I'm the only one that see it, but I see it. That talent is world-class, man. This kid could be really good. All I want to know is, can he stay healthy? Can he stay available? That's the only thing. If he does, we in good shape, y'all. Now, tonight, we still dealing with this, this Kemba drama. Cleveland is really good. They're the 5th seed in the East, and they're legit. They're probably, to me, they're the surprise team in the NBA this year. They're the surprise team, man. Nobody expected Cleveland to be the 5th seed. Here they are. And it's solid, man. They could go higher. So this is going to be tough. This is not going to be easy. We got to see what it is. But Kemba is supposedly ready to play today. I really think we'd be better served if we had the same lineup as yesterday. I really think we'd be better served with that. I hope if Kemba playing that his knee is able to go full tilt. I don't want him out there trying to play on one leg, man. That's going to hurt us. Okay. This Cleveland team is legit. It's for real. Okay. They will hurt us. They will kill us in Cleveland today. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. If his knee is if he I think the last game he played was last Thursday. I think it was last Thursday he played. So he had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and now he's this 4th day. Maybe he can go today, but we'll see. But then you got to change the dynamic. Even Fournier, he was trying to be smart about it, but he said, the dynamic changes. It's a different dynamic. He's trying to be positive, but really he knows, and we know, Kemba needs to go, man. He needs to go. We love the boy. I mean, he's New York, but he needs to go, man. We got enough dogs. He needs to go. All right. So I don't know if they're going to trade him, buy him out, or what. But he needs to go to a contender. He could do that. He could go to a contender, go to the Lakers, and come off their bench for them. I don't know. But go to a contender and come off the bench. I think he could do that. So anyway, tonight we got Cleveland. Noah played good, 8 points. I love the little turnaround Jay. He scored like 6 points on like little turnaround Jays. One from the foul line, and the other one's a little closer. I mean, that's nice, man. Watch for Mitch Rob do that next year. Watch. And then Obi, of course, he got dogged again. 2 minutes, but he's +4. 8 minutes on the floor. The dunk was nasty, though. The dunk was nasty. Oh, shoot. IQ passing that ball. I think he jumped from behind the dotted line inside the key and double pumped that mess. Yeah. But he can do more than dunk. Don't trip. So, yeah. And I hope Taj is okay. Grimes did not shoot the ball well, but you want him out there because of his defense. He was -1. He didn't have his best game. 2 of 10 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3-point land. His shot was off yesterday. It was just straight off yesterday. But that's okay. He's going to be more on than off over the course of time. So I'm not worried about Grimes. Just like I said about RJ, I ain't worried about RJ. I'm not worried about Grimes. He's going to be all right. All right. And the fact is he's in Tibbs' rotation. So he can mess up a little bit and Tibbs still going to keep him out there. So that's all good. Yeah. So let's see what happens. Tonight we might not see Reddish. And that's another thing. If Kemba plays, then that means Burks comes back to Mobb Deep and we might not see Reddish. But this is a temporary problem. I'm looking at this as a temporary problem. I'm not looking at this as a long-term issue because, like I said, I think they're going to make some more moves to open up some space. But for now, it is what it is. So we just deal with it. Let's see if we can grind out a win in Cleveland tonight. It's not going to be easy, y'all. This is a rough road trip. Cleveland, at Miami, at Milwaukee. This is no joke, y'all. Okay, but it starts tonight with Cleveland. Let's see if we can do this. Get back to 500, and let's see what we can go from there, all right? Y'all please have a safe and productive Monday. Be safe out there. Remember, again, the families of those two officers that were shot a couple of days ago. One that passed away. One is still battling for his life. Pray for him. Shalom.